Hello, my name is Olga. Today I'll be presenting on the topic of physiology and experimental psychology. The purpose of this presentation was to help me with the weekly write by answering the following questions. Hopefully you find it useful as well. What is physiology and experimental psychology? There was a change of interest in the scientific community from theoretical objective to subjective perception of the world and the interest to study individual differences. Definition of physiology is it's a branch of biology that aims to understand the mechanisms of living things. The emphasis of integrating systems and the whole body function is what distinguishes physiology from other life sciences. Now, this reminded me of Descartes' reflex theory and Julian Delametre, Man as a Machine. That's from previous lectures, and that's why I underlined mechanisms there. Now, to connect that to experimental psychology is that physiology is an experimental science which integrated and created the transition for the new field at the time of experimental psychology. So just as a reminder, 16th and 17th century successfully addressed the nature of the physical world. Now we move on to medical and biological sciences emerging in the 18th century and being revolutionized in the 19th century. Widespread advancements in all sciences were leading to advancements in medicine, anatomy, disease prevention, and we see the use of microscope and telescope as equipment. Also, we see industrial revolutions, meaning machines and factories and the need for man labor to oversee that. So now to address who were some of the people at the time and what did they contribute, you can see those names to the right. And then to the left, I kind of give an explanation as to their contributions. I do want to point out that Johann Mueller was the one that suggested that physiology is an experimental discipline. And then we can see, there's people that contributed to the theory of color vision. The main point is that these people were influential because their contributions are focused on examination of perception with the use of experimental evidence and methods. These people were following the scientific method, and so some of these claims were proven wrong, such in the case of Franz Gall and phrenology. As in the perception of vision and auditorial perception, those theories were analyzed and expanded upon. And just another example, Ernst Weber, he was studying the perception of touch. So these people, the reason they became influential at the time, again, is because their contributions are focused on examination of perception with the use of experimental evidence and methods. Just a quick to answer, why does it matter? Rise in experimental investigation leads to ethical concerns later on that have to be addressed. There's population growth and technological advancements follow after this time period. My source for the definition of physiology came from the Physiological Society website, and of course I used information from this week's lecture. Hopefully you found this useful and have a wonderful rest of the week.